What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. In today's video I've got some updates on the super simple goldfish aquarium, and today is actually going to be the last day where you get to see this aquarium. It is finally come to an end. I think we've had the super simple budget aquarium set up for around, I think it's been around 4 months now. And it is time to call it a day. I've really enjoyed having the super simple budget tank. It's been nice to have a separate second tank in the house. Something a little bit smaller, been a little bit of a challenge and just another interesting project. But as I said at the beginning of the series, the goldfish in here are not staying in here for their life. Some people were very worried that I was going to keep these fish in here for the rest of their life, but no, they are not. And obviously we did lose Mario, I think it was about 3 weeks ago now, but the other 2 fish are doing absolutely fine, no issues whatsoever. And I've just thought I don't want to risk anything happening to these guys. I want to make sure they get enough food, get enough water changes, and they have the best life possible, as I do with all of my fancy goldfish. So I think it is time to put these 2 into the goldfish mega tank. Now I'm going to shut this tank down and put these 2 fish into the mega tank. Now I don't know if they're going to stay in the mega tank long term. I would say Lava Boy is definitely my favourite out of the 2 quality wise, but I do really love the pattern and coloration on Naruto. And I really want to have these guys in the mega tank for a little bit of time to see how they do. Maybe they put on a growth spurt, maybe they don't continue to grow. But the aim of the Super Simple Budget Aquarium series was to grow these guys on and see if I could keep some fish in a small tank. Now, it's definitely been a good experiment. A few conclusions from this experiment. One, I don't think this is the ideal situation or scenario to grow goldfish in, but I knew that from the beginning and I just wanted to give it a try. I've definitely seen some noticeable size and growth on these fish, but nothing too drastic. And as I mentioned in previous videos in this episode, if I wanted to really get the growth on these, I would be changing the water a lot more often and probably feeding a bit more food. So now that the fish are going to head into a bigger environment, it's going to be interesting to see how they do long term, or maybe they'll put a bit more growth on, or maybe their colours will change. So without further ado, I'm not going to bore you any longer. Let's get these guys out of the super simple budget aquarium and let's acclimate them to the goldfish mega tank. As you can see, we now have Naruto and Lava Boy acclimating into the goldfish mega tank. Now I've just got them in the blue bowl here, and I'm just going to allow the temperatures to equalise. Now checking the water of the super simple budget aquarium, it is 20.7 degrees. Now if I check the goldfish mega tank, that is sitting at 21.5 degrees. Hopefully you can see that on the camera there. So the goldfish mega tank is a little bit warmer than the super simple budget tank, which is a good thing, because if you're going to move fish from one temperature to another, it is always best to move them from a slightly colder temperature to a slightly warmer temperature, rather than moving them from a slightly warmer temperature down to a slightly colder temperature, because they're not going to appreciate that, or they're not going to like that. So I'm just going to sit these guys in here. I will probably add a bit of water from the goldfish mega tank to the bowl, and I would say these are going to take around 20 to 25 minutes to acclimate, and then we can release them into the mega tank and see the difference in size between these guys and the jumbo oranda. Now, just while we have the 2 new oranda acclimating to the tank, I just thought I'd talk a little bit more about why I decided to put them into the aquarium. As I said, the super simple budget aquarium wasn't forever, and I've decided now, as we only have 2 fish, it's time to add them to the mega tank, give them a bit more space, see if it causes any changes. As with all fish keeping, I do like to experiment, obviously in a humane way, experiment and see how fish cope in different environments, because that is how we all learn and that's how we discover different things about our fancy goldfish. So I thought it was time to place them into the big tank, see if maybe over the next few months they put on a little bit of growth or they change, and just see how they do. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if they're going to be staying here forever or whether I will move them to some of my friends' fancy goldfish aquariums. I'm not too sure yet, but I just thought I'd let you know that from the outset. And it's also going to be nice to have one tank to focus on, one tank to clean each week, which means I have less maintenance to do, and obviously it's going to consume a little bit less power because I won't be using the electricity on the Super Simple budget aquarium as well. But that is going to come to the end of our series of that Super Simple budget tank. Overall, I think it was a success because I learned quite a few different things. I learned that you can keep goldfish in small aquariums, but you definitely cannot keep them in there forever. You definitely have a lot more stability with a larger tank, and I've learned that firsthand. And also, I think it shows that if you really want to grow your fish, you really need to put in water changes and a lot more food than I personally was. Although I was feeding them between, I would say, 4 to 6 times a day, it probably wasn't enough food and enough water changes to really see a good growth impact. But they're just coming to the end of their acclimation now, so I think it's time to release them and see what they look like with the big jumbo oranda side by side. Lava Boy and Naruto are now acclimated to the Goldfish Mega Tank, so it's time to release them into the tank and then we can get some underwater footage of them. I'm really excited to see how these guys compare in size to the Jumbo Oranda. Obviously, this isn't the first time they've been in the Mega Tank, and we do have quite a few videos on Instagram if you want to go and check it out. The link is down below, where we've had these guys in comparison to the Jumbo Oranda in the Mega Tank. But without further ado, let's release them into the tank and then we can get some underwater footage. So that is it. The 2 new oranda are in the Goldfish Mega Tank, and I think they look absolutely amazing. It really shows you just how big some of these jumbo oranda are compared to Naruto and Lava Boy. Now, I would say Naruto is about a 4-inch fish, and Lava Boy is around a 4.5 to 5-inch fish. So Naruto's just down in the bottom here. So you can see he's probably about the length of my hand here. He is a really small fish in comparison to some of the big guys here, but I would say these are probably your average, or Lava Boy especially is, I would say, an average larger size oranda. So it is really interesting to see just how different the sizes are to these fish. But they've settled in really well. They've been in for a few hours now. There's been absolutely no problems. Hopefully they're going to get lots of food. Obviously, they've got lots more swimming space, and hopefully they can enjoy their days into the Goldfish Mega Tank. So that is it for this video. If you do have any questions or any queries, leave those down below. If you want to send me your tank or your setup for our Rate My Tank series or our Tank Tour series, then please send me via the email in the description, fancygoldfishfanatics@gmail.com. But that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.